you guys think about Oppenheimer?
Hello.
No, because we're doing go
Yeah.
on.
So I watched it twice.
You watched it twice
I've watched it
already?
twice. Yeah, bro, I told
Oh,
you.
you're on it. Go ahead.
No, I watched it twice because I was not coming to this conversation about understanding the story. Bro, the first time, oh my lord, I was so upset. Because I walked out of the cinema like, this is some dog shit.
Yeah.
And I take full responsibility. I watched it in 70mm, not IMAX. Not just normal 70mm, which was mid. It was mid. It was like, I watched it in pictures a couple of days after and it was way better than 70mm. I was really far away. Audio was mid. Mixing was, I couldn't really hear much, couldn't understand much. Whatever, I just had a bad experience. And the explosion. We'll get to that anyway. But then, so that was on a Tuesday.
See, I told you this is when we had to ask him first.
Yeah. So that was on Tuesday. Between Tuesday and Friday, I was balls deep in research. I was
like my
in.
drink.
Yeah. I was.
Outtake.
I was chin deep in research. I learned everything about World War II. I watched Downhill. Do you know about Downfall? Sorry. Do you know about Downfall?
Downfall, no.
Downfall is one of the greatest German movies of all time. It shows the last few days of Hitler's life in the bunker.
Yeah.
Great
Which
movie.
is interesting because I'm
Downfall.
watching Hunter right now.
Hunter, what's that?
The Netflix. Digress. Continue.
Yeah, this Downfall, guys. Remember I told you about how a good movie ends weeks after you finish watching it because you started doing research.
Yeah.
I was in this World War II thing. I was learning so much. I learned everything about Oppenheimer's story. I learned all about the characters. Watched it again in Picture House Greenwich with subtitles.
And also the seats are comfortable there.
Oh,
man.
amazing
I don't want
Shout out Picture House.
recline. Super
Decline.
comfortable.
Shout out.
But then with subtitles, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in. I think the first half an hour when I first watched it was just, I was pissed. I was bored. I was like, okay, come on, get to the first half an hour when I watched it after understanding what's happening. I was happy. I was in. Like that scene when he was lying in his bed and can you hear the music is playing with like all those physics and this coming out of nowhere.
Bro,
such a good scene.
The power of sound in this film is
amazing.
incredible.
Especially like
Freaking incredible.
that incredibly uncomfortable scene. So when you understand the weight of what happened when they created the atomic bomb, prior to even they didn't show any images, so it didn't glamorize the after effects.
Yeah.
But they were still able to show the core shock that Robert Oppenheimer had without necessarily showing all those images. And it was in that speech. And it was sound that really helped do that.
Deaf.
Yeah.
I am become deaf. It's so loud.
No, but the
Look
power,
at your man.
the power of sound in this film was sick. I think there was one bit when he was doing a monologue. I think it's the scene you're talking about. He's doing a monologue and you see like the background's all like vibrating.
And,
Yeah.
and it's
Really,
no
really
CGI.
Yeah. Oh.
Again.
That's the thing. That's why I love this guy. Every time I see a scene-
No. I'm very pissed off about this. There are no, because he keeps saying this and it's kind of annoying. He says there are no CGI shots, which is true. A CGI shot is a full shot composed of CGI only. There are CGI enhancements in this movie.
So it's
Yeah, but
VFX.
it's yeah.
No. CGI, computer generated enhancements.
So those way things are like.
No,
What does that
I don't know what it was, but there is a.
Because you're speaking technical, so like, what does that mean?
So CGI is computer generated. You got special effects, which is like physical stuff that we do in set Barbie, and you got CGI, which is computer effects.
Which is like Marvel.
Yeah, yeah, basically. Now a CGI shot is a full shot composed of 100% CGI, right? Or majority of it is CGI,
Yeah.
and that's what he keeps saying. He says there are no CGI shots in this movie, which is true, but there are a lot of enhancements.
So
Okay.
what's the difference
Oh, yeah.
between
I see what you mean.
enhancements and
So it's a
Video
thing that they shot.
VFX?
They shot it like in real life, and then they add things to make it a bit more. They add
like shaking the camera
no,
a bit more.
maybe shaking or they might add like more fire to certain. They might add more this or that.
They just enhance it.
Oh,
really.
okay.
They enhance
Okay,
it.
yeah.
And the thing, because this really was me, because I watched a video about this a while ago. You go in the credits and you see there's a whole team of visual effects artists that are working on this movie,
So what's the difference
and they get no
between...
attention because
Oh, do you feel like
Yeah.
him saying that stuff kind of
yeah, kind of they get no attention whatsoever because it's like he's like, oh, there's no CGI, no CGI. Yeah, I fucking worked my ass because that's another thing. CGI, visual effects artists get no peas, bro.
Yeah.
They get dog shit money. So on top of that, they wanna. That kind of really kind of
So
bothered
then
me.
what's... Just because I'm a bit
Yeah, it's
curious,
fine.
when it comes down to what you just explained, what's the difference between that and using like enhanced color gradients and stuff?
Color grading is a bit different. I think color grading is just Color grading is not adding what's not already there.
Yeah.
Color grading these colors are already present. You're just adding it. You're just
They're
making it
showing it.
known,
Yeah,
making it
okay.
aware.
Yeah.
Visual effects is adding things on top of already existing things.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying is adding more things that again is an enhancement, right? And if again you go into credits and you see all these people that worked on it, so that's what I said. The wording, like normally, like you didn't understand. Most of us don't understand what he said.
I think
shots.
you need to have that. Like, I think this kind of conversation helps.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry I was asking you like 5,000 questions.
No,
but
no,
I
no,
just don't
no, I love-
understand.
I-
In fact, he
I do
needs
a
to
lot
be
of
more
research.
clear about.
Yeah.
I guess technically he's right.
No, but it's part of his thing. His thing
It's
is
part of his brand.
I do these things IRL. I'm here for it. Everything I do is legit. And yeah, you do. Like,
But there's a certain extent that you need to have
Yeah.
technical support.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he does
but,
get a little
like-
bit of enhancement on certain
I,
shots.
bro,
to make
actually,
stuff
I
look-
don't know why. I actually believed he blew up an atomic bomb for this movie for some reason. I don't know why. I genuinely believed it, and then I did my research.
Just radiation
Yeah,
poisoning for
everyone, like,
everyone.
it's a bit
You
much.
get
Yeah.
radiation poisoning.
Well,
You
you
get
get-
radiation poisoning.
I feel
You
like
get
the main
radiation
thing with this
poisoning.
film, I think for main people, everyone's film was the actual explosion itself. How did you guys feel about watching the explosion?
Underwhelming.
So I actually was. It was the build up that was like.
Oh,
thing.
yo,
So
the
I,
build-up.
told you I was
I
tracking.
was shook. I was scared, you know.
yeah.
I was tracking my BPM.
When it was doing the countdown and
Yeah.
everything. No, what do you say?
I
have to say
tracked
this.
my
You know what
BPM on my watch.
I wanted to do that because I remember what you saying that as it was happening. Like, no, fuck it. I mean, like I wanted to go and check my
Yeah.
You
heart
know,
rate.
I was doing it like I was going.
No,
And it was
I
like
couldn't
at
do that.
one point, I'm not even lying, my BPM went up to 100, sitting there because
Yeah.
I didn't
he
need to-
ate in
The
suspension.
thing, you know, it's crazy.
Well, I felt it. I
That's
didn't
what it was. The anticipation to like the actual noise itself. But
Yeah.
obviously, once that's what this is a spoiler. Sorry, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers. for
Yeah,
this
sorry.
one.
See you later.
But when obviously the build up to explosion, yeah. Obviously, light travels faster than sound.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you're seeing it
Yeah.
and looking at how beautiful it is. But I'm going back, man. The sound's gonna come
Yes,
at any
I
moment.
know it.
So I'm like, when is this noise? I'm getting myself prepared for the big explosion. I'm looking at the visuals. Obviously, I watched it on 35mm IMAX.
Lucky, bro.
Which is still looked clean. So I'm looking at the
looks
shots like,
amazing.
this is beautiful. This is what I come to cinema for. And I'm like, when's this noise about to come? Because
okay, no, I don't know where.
And then he's just like,
and then there's a little monologue from
I Am Become,
Oppenheimer
yeah.
just talking about the
Yeah.
destruction of the world and whatnot. Then it comes in
Out of nowhere.
Like,
The thing,
holy shit.
so anticipation was amazing, insane anticipation, and the thing is,
and it's like been a long time since I've felt that like kind of level of anticipation in cinema.
Yeah.
the thing is, do you know why it's really, really interesting? Because me feeling anticipation for the explosion and them feeling it was very different. Yeah, we felt this emotion. For them, they don't know if this was going to be a chain reaction that might end up the world.
Yeah, they thought
They
it was
genuinely
gonna
believe
kill
that there's
them
a
all.
potential, there's a small potential that might, like
Or they're not
0.001.
even in the right safe zone for it. It might have been hit them.
Yeah, potentially. So that's what they were like shitting themselves.
Yeah.
And I clearly know that the chain. I mean, there is a chain reaction, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But the chain reaction they anticipated didn't actually happen. I know this. Yeah, I'm still like fucking freaking out. But that being said, that explosion was so underwhelming.
I
So
think
underwhelming.
That
I think
explosion was
the-
not in it.
Just not it.
booms
I was
were-
fuming.
I was more gassed towards it.
No,
than that shit
listen,
happening.
this is a really interesting thing. This is like a thing about life, right?
Not for me,
The-
dog.
we don't actually want the thing to happen. We want
It's
the
I
definitely
think
not
the
for me,
thing
dog.
before
We
it.
want that we don't want. I don't want this drink. I want to want the drink. Because the
Yeah.
feeling of wanting the drink is what makes it. A bit
Oh
more
yeah,
fun.
it's like
And
when
then
you have, say like you have a goal and you finally get it, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
and you want the next thing.
Yeah.
It's that kind
and
of
to
concept.
be fair, that building the anticipation was a lot more should have been a lot more difficult than actually making an explosion.
But then at the same time, with that, do you think he maybe did it strategically because he doesn't want to glamorize nuclear? The whole concept is just talking
no,
about.
but the whole movie was marketed as the first. Like he didn't really focus on marketing as a biopic of his life. It was more so look at the big boom, like kind of thing. It was just. I watched the trailers.
I think the message wasn't really on the big bomb. It's like
It's-
how he changed the
No,
world.
No, the movie
into,
was
like,
the movie was focused on his life and the politics and whatnot. But when I watched
But
the
then
trailers
it
after,
was
it was
also-
really focused. Sorry, the trailers focused on the fact that this is gonna be one of the greatest visual spectacles of you ever.
But it
seen.
was like when you look
Visually,
when
it was
you're
there.
looking at it and you're seeing all these
But the
explosions.
boom wasn't booming though.
No. The sound of the boom wasn't booming though.
No,
I
the sound was
think-
great.
I think.
But I
think
feel
the
like
visuals
there's a sense
wasn't.
of he probably, like you said, they want to glamorize it, and also maybe there's a sense of realism in terms of how it actually sounds. And,
And then at the end
No,
of
the
the
sound.
day-
No, the sound was great. I'm bothered by the visuals.
Oh, the visuals.
Visuals underwhelming for me.
Of the actual explosion. You didn't like the bit when it was all quiet and you're showing the different.
I like that, yeah, but then it's like, so it's weird. The sound started going quiet for a long time, and then the loud bang. I like that. Now the visual part of it was like mid.
Really?
It was mid for me.
Of the actual
It was,
explosion?
yeah, the actual visual explosion was kind of mid for me, man. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It was,
I mean,
it wasn't,
they're
it
all
wasn't,
in a
But then
safe
at the same
area.
time, like, you know,
What you want? What visual?
I don't know, man.
aspect do you
Bob
want
does
from
that,
it?
man.
what's it people who like to watch fire burn?
Oh, the Joker. Some people just want to see the world burn.
No,
Some people see the world as bad. That's from Nolan as well. Some men.
There's
Some men.
literally
Some men.
there's a
Some men see the
literal
world
term
burn.
for it, but like I think it was like paraphiliacs or something like that.
And you thought I was gonna know
You
that?
can't even say she's so seashells.
I don't know if it's correct. I don't know. Don't hold me on that.
Looking
The
at
next
you for
frivolous. Frivolous all over again.
But like, they don't want to glamorize it to them as well, because
Yeah.
ultimately the weight of it is, because I went to watch it at the Science Museum,
Mm.
so I was seeing the film, and then afterwards I actually got to see the effects of it,
Yeah,
and
that-
seeing
ooh,
how
yeah.
like radiation poisoning was, and how like people's clothes were burned off.
So
their skin.
how graphic was the actual science museum? How graphic?
It wasn't that
It
graphic.
wasn't really
It's
that
just
much as, yeah.
it's just like images of the most famous images from the effect of what happened.
Damn.
And the main one is that little girl where she's like running and her clothes are like mainly
Oh,
burned
God.
off, and you've got
Oh,
like
wow.
pieces of her clothes
Yeah.
still
Bro,
attached to her
there's
back.
so I told you, like, I did some research on this thing in the days between watching them, and some of the stories I'm hearing is insane.
It's look, because
Some
it's
of
like
these survivors are-
generational radiation
Yeah, yeah,
poisoning.
yeah.
It goes down each generation.
Death by radiation is one of the most painful deaths you ever experience in your life. If like they say that those who die straight away were the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some people survive, but they
Oh my
died
god,
weeks
like
later.
that bit, oh, spoiler alert, like, where he stood and he was like doing the speech and he stood
And he
and he
stepped on
stepped
the
on
ash.
Oh yeah.
And
And-
two people
and-
were
and
you
pamming.
feel
And
so
two people were
up.
having sex further on.
What was that all about?
Celebration, innit? The Americans, innit? Americans are
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
evil people.
Yeah. Truman.
I haven't done my research yet, but after watching this film, I definitely wanted to get into my bag and like learning history.
Bro,
more. Even like science
I know
itself.
no, bro. See, this is what I'm saying. So I love about movies and my relationship with movies. I really got into theoretical physics from Endgame. Endgame kind of
Oh, look what's giving you.
chill, bro.
Science.
No.
Let me know
Silence.
about time travel.
No, it
Look at
sparked
your
my.
man.
Hey, hello.
Look
No,
at
we're not
your
doing this. We're
man.
not doing this.
Nah,
I'm
that
saying
ain't it, yeah.
Endgame sparked my interest in theoretical physics. Then I started doing a lot of research, and I never really had an interest in history. My thing was always in future. And I had a partner who was really into like the German side and the World War II whatnot. I never really had an interest, and it was from this movie I started doing a lot of research into it. Now I'm looking at stuff from about like this morning I watched a video on Alexander the Great, and I'm
Yeah.
watching some philosophers and this and that. Like now I'm really into history, and now I learn a
But
lot.
also, like, I think the interesting thing about the way this film's toned is kind of like Greek mythology.
Yeah.
It's not just who is it? Who is the main person that they referred to? They said he's of our generation, the modern.
What? Talking about Einstein.
Huh?
Talking about Einstein.
No, I'm talking about.
Yo, that line. What's
Oppenheimer.
that line? What's that line? When
day of-
Downey and like Downey said to
You didn't know what they were talking about.
no. It was in the building. Downey Strauss said to Oppenheimer, "He's the greatest man of our generation." And Oppenheimer's like his generation.
Oh yeah.
Fucking holy shit. Sorry, go on. He's
No. You guys talk. I'll
Yeah.
find it. I'll find it.
But that's one thing that really bothered me was we didn't get to see nothing about in Japan, and I understand why.
Yeah.
I get why, because this is obviously color was from Oppenheimer's perspective, black and white from Strauss' perspective. So I get why they didn't show they didn't show anything from Japan, but I kind of wanted to see some of that stuff, man.
I
see Japan.
didn't mind that they didn't have it in there.
Also,
That bothered me.
I think it's very powerful to say that he.
You hear?
Hey, what do you mean about Florence being in this film? I feel like
I can see some Florence
low-key wasn't
titties, yeah,
necessary. I feel like her scene
Goodness
low-key wasn't
me.
necessary.
No,
Goodness me,
she was.
outtake.
Do you think the film was too long?
Don't ask me what color her eyes were. I don't know.
Yo, horny boy. Fam. You lucky I ain't got a sound effect on that.
She is a very, 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 very big part of his life.
Prometheus, that's it.
She is.
Yeah,
Prometheus.
Yeah.
She
The
is.
modern day Prometheus.
Yeah, he's the one that stole.
Yeah.
He stole
He
fire.
stole fire
from the gods.
From
and
the
he was,
gods.
Yeah.
But I think he's more like Icarus.
That's
where
a
Icarus,
bar. That's a
Stole fire from
fucking
the
bar.
gods.
That's a
I
lie.
think
Gave it to man, and then Mama said, "Oh, you gave them the power to destroy themselves."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
There was
he,
a
I think,
lot of great one-liners in
I
I
this.
think that he was more like Icarus. Icarus created himself wings,
Yeah.
and then he flew into
too
the
close to the
sun.
sun.
Yeah, flew too close to the
It's
sun.
how's that Eternals, man?
And that's
This guy's crazy.
Flew to the sun.
He did
And
throw it to the sun and kill
This is
himself.
so dumb. But yeah, that is the thing is.
I think he's more Icarus than Prometheus
Okay.
because he invented something that ultimately has created destruction to himself because it affected his career and his personal life.
No,
afterwards.
the thing is, the story of Icarus is about curiosity. So Icarus wants to
It
see
was
how.
about curiosity.
Yeah, that's why that's
Yeah.
why I see what you're saying. Because the story of Icarus is about curiosity. He wants to see how high he can get, and Oppenheimer same thing. He was curiosity. He wants to see how high he can get in the world of physics, and it fucked him up. And I think that really there was one line in this movie that really played with me. It's after they did the destination, and he was in a room telling them if you don't drop it at a certain height, then it might not. And they said we'll take it from here. And then there was a scene between Damson, not Damson,
President.
sorry. From
He's thinking about those
no, from
parties.
From Groves and Oppenheimer having a conversation, and Oppenheimer asked Groves, "Can I come with you to Washington?" And Groves said, "What for?"
Yeah.
Now, to me, what that means is, no, we don't need. You're done.
You've done your job.
You've done your
Fuck
job.
off.
Yeah.
done your job.
I don't need no more. Like, we'll glorify you whilst you're doing it, but once you do it, go away.
Bro, there was the scene with him and the president
Oh boy.
was crazy.
And he called
I
him
didn't
a
know that was
coward.
Gary Oldman.
Oldman.
I didn't know.
I said, Gary
I had no idea. I had no. But I was watching a video. Yeah, so
Man said, I feel like I got blood in my hands. Gary Oldman's like,
that was
then he kicked him out and said, don't let this crybaby come back in
wait,
here.
wait,
Yeah, he said that
Don't
for
let
real.
this
No, he
crybaby
said that for
come back.
real.
For real?
He said that for real. He said, don't let that Caribbean come back in his
Oh,
office. He said that for
wow.
real, bro.
Sick.
That was a straight.
It's like if you know about like the Manhattan Project because
I
I
do.
I studied A-level history.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
that
you must have loved this movie then.
it made sense. Like it was stuff I learned, and it was
Yeah.
just like it was like oh like going back to it because I even had a conversation with this woman about it because she was interestingly enough I was wearing my BARBENHEIMER t-shirt
Yeah.
and she's a part of like anti-nuke
Okay. Yeah.
campaign stuff
yeah.
and we were talking about it and she was like do you know about it and I was like ultimately yeah like I studied it and it was really interesting to see how they were going to intake it because later on in his life Oppenheimer was really for nuclear war
Prevention, like
prevention policies.
He was going to use his fame to kind of. He tried to use his fame to prevent people from using it again. But then he realized, like, so what, there was even a line in the movie where he said, we're not responsible for how it's used. We're responsible for how it's made.
Yeah.
That was them. The scientists, and again, even though Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about it, he was talking about how it wasn't Oppenheimer's fault. It wasn't. We can't put everything on him. He may have been one to create it, but it was a collective effort of usage and they didn't even have to use it.
No, they could have used.
They didn't.
It was
They
a
used it on
threat.
someone that already kind of surrendered.
But I'll be real. Some of the stuff that Japan did was fucked.
Oh, like you know,
Japan did some
impaling
fucked up
with
shit.
bamboo sticks. I need to tell you about
Is
that
that what
stuff.
it is?
Yeah.
I was watching something this morning.
Sorry, this is. I told you, like history is my
No,
thing.
I know. I
need
was
to-
watching something this morning about the experiments they were doing with people. They were like,
These guys are talking about torture methods.
no, they were some of the shit.
No, like
Bro,
they've got, like, the most
I feel
intense
sorry
things.
for Japan until I started looking about what the shit they were actually doing.
They did some really intense stuff,
Less
but
sorry, a little bit
ultimately,
less sorry.
as a result of it, they're like it's a give and take of what has happened, and history is what it is. But I think the main thing about this film is a conversation because the concept of having nuclear war at this current period is more likely than ever before. It's not just a history textbook anymore.
No, actually, no. It's likely, but is no. So the thing about nuclear war is, well, for starters, you don't know about something bomber. There's a bomb called something bomber, Russian. This thing is 100 times more bigger than the atomic bomb. We're talking like the biggest
Yeah.
bomb.
Who has it?
But it's still
Russia.
Yeah, but it's nuclear war.
So
It's nuclear weapons,
that's it.
isn't
So
it?
the idea of nuclear war today makes no sense because it's a thing of like if you do it, then we all lose. Like if you like
We're
that's
all going to press the button.
no, I'm saying if you nuke us, we nuke you, and then the chain reaction starts.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the thing about the way this movie ended, to speak about how they might have actually started a chain reaction. This chain reaction started way before Oppenheimer. This chain reaction started from when man first killed man.
Yeah.
That's when it starts. It starts from there, and he feels like he was he boosted it, but you're just,
It wasn't. But if it
nature.
wasn't Americans, it was going to be the Russians. If it wasn't the Russians, it was going to
There
be
we
the
go.
British.
It was
gonna be
someone
If it
was
was
gonna
going to
do
be
it.
the Germans,
Like you
Yes.
said, there
It
was
was-
always a race
Yeah.
for someone to get there
the arms
first.
race was amazing, man. It was really fascinating.
But-
like the Cold War, like like it's an interesting thing, and I think when you have watched this film, if you don't know the history behind it, it does make you want to learn it more. Or it makes things
100%.
it makes things
I
real
definitely want to
because
learn about politics a bit more as well.
Politics.
yeah,
I'm less
because
interested in politics. I'm more interested in like, yeah. I want to know, because the thing I really love about World War II as well is there's so many stories. You got the Oppenheimer, then you got the Hitler, then you got the Anne Frank story, then you got the Blitz, and then you got the this and that. There's so many different stories.
Schindler's.
Schindler's.
It's a world,
You know what I'm
innit?
saying? There's like so many
It's a
stories,
whole new world.
bro. Don't do
But
that.
I feel like for me,
You're a prick.
I've already seen it enough.
World War II was the MC phase 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, no,
Different stories.
That's an outtake for real. Come on.
You were gonna say something? Sorry?
Nah, bruv, I can't believe
What do
you
you
just
guys
said
think
that.
about Robert Downey Jr.'s performance in Oppenheimer?
I'm-
Strauss.
Honestly, this is probably, I
Or
think,
Strauss.
correct me if it's wrong, I think this is his first performance since.
Endgame.
I don't think he did
No,
anything.
No,
Doolittle.
he did his
Doolittle.
doco.
Huh?
He did his doco with his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did Dr. Doolittle.
Okay, I don't really count that one.
That doesn't. That was during.
that one humbled
during.
him. That
No,
one, he said that's a humbling film.
That was after
Didn't
Endgame, bro.
realize that, yeah.
That was straight after Endgame.
Yeah, I ain't got the
And also
I ain't got
that
the
was
shots like
during Iron Man, no?
No, it was after
He shot-
Endgame.
Yeah, but he shot it like.
It was.
Oh,
yeah,
pre
it was during,
Endgame.
yeah.
Released after
it just
Endgame.
got pushed back.
He
What do you
said-
guys think about his performance in this film?
Oh, great. He was a very I didn't really understand his character as much, but now that I really understand, like he's very narcissistic, kind of self-centered, kind of like, because the fact he actually thought that they were talking about him
Yeah.
was a
Me-
really
well, yeah.
fascinating.
That was crazy. When I first saw him, I saw Iron Man. It took a minute for
I did.
me
I didn't
for
see
it to go away.
I didn't see
I
it.
didn't see
I
Iron
saw
Man.
Iron Man straight away.
Yeah.
I think
Old Iron
it
Man.
was. I think it
Yeah.
was interesting to see
I saw
him-
Tony Stark.
not being typecast.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't. The
Yeah,
hero.
no, not really.
See, he's
He
bit-
kind of was a
What?
little bit. I saw a bit of Stark. I saw old Stark a little
I
bit.
saw Stark in the beginning because he did some witty stuff.
Yeah, there's some things he does like with his hands and the way he talks and whatever. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I saw a bit of Stark in there.
I
But
don't
then
know, like, I
towards the
feel like-
end, maybe like middle of the film, to be fair, I didn't see no more.
No, yeah.
I think I'm one of those people that has learned to like disassociate an actor from a particular character.
This is Iron Man. He's been doing it.
It's
for 10
difficult though.
years.
So some because you got like doing the Ryan Reynolds, for example, some like even Tom Holland, it's a bit difficult to do those a lot. But Downey, I saw a bit of it, but then it didn't really. It wasn't like something I care. It was only now. It's only now that we speak about it. It's like, okay, now
Yeah.
I see it, saw a little bit.
Well, he said in a recent interview that
About
Oppenheimer
what's that?
is the best movie he's ever been in. What do you guys think about that?
Rotted.
I would
Well,
say.
He's been with Marvel for
No, Civil War, like,
over a decade.
no, Civil War, not even Infinity War, fucking hell. Not even Age of Ultron.
No, I don't think he really like it. It was his resurfaced film, but I don't think he actually enjoyed Marvel like that.
I feel like
He enjoyed them
I think
he took a pay cut.
I don't mean this in an insult, but I feel like Marvel's probably like a walk on part in terms of that character. He
Yeah,
embodied
yeah.
that character
It was
and
him.
knows how to do this
He lived
character.
the character, man.
I think Oppenheimer was more like I've seen interviews with him talking with Christian Nolan, and they're like he spoke about how like this was more of a challenge. I had to
Yeah.
like be the complete opposite
Yeah,
of what Tony
because
Stark
yeah,
is.
Nolan told him to take a lot of stuff away that he was doing.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, that get rid of it. That get rid of it."
Yeah.
No, he didn't tell him to add anything. He just told him to get rid of some bunch of stuff. Everyone that was a supporting, most of the supporting cast, like the big names, took a big pay cut. So Downey Jr. normally charges 10 mil. He charged 4 mil for this one.
No.
4.
But I think to say that it means that it was a great experience as an actor.
Working with Nolan is
Top
like,
tier.
Yeah, it's like, you have
He
to.
said
But
when
like
Nolan
it-
calls,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he calls, you
there.
answer.
like I remember Matt Damon did the interview and he said like he was meant to take a break in it and be with his kids and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then
Nolan
Nolan called
called.
and he told his wife
Alright,
like
but-
he said he usually told his wife if Nolan calls,
Yeah.
I'm
anyone
dropping
else,
back, and he called. So
You know, there was
all
interview,
day
yeah.
ends early.
This thing made me laugh so much. So I love Downey Jr. He said, they were sitting together. The way he did the accent, I don't know if I can replicate it properly. But they would have the conversation, Nolan and Downey, and they're talking, and he was showing her the movie one up, and then Nolan and Downey does an impression of Nolan saying, "So will you do it?" Slap sword. Like, will you do it? But that's yeah. That Downey's performance in this one was really, really good. He was a main character.
Yeah.
He
People are
was a main
saying
character.
Ryan Gosling and Robert Downey Jr. should get nominated for
For
best
supporting act, yeah.
supporting roles.
Was he supporting that?
Yeah, he
Robert,
was.
Yeah, Robert, 100%.
I think he was a main character.
No,
No, because half the movie is dedicated to his perspective.
no,
No.
it was the black and white is.
It's his
no,
perspective.
no, it's not.
It's
objective.
No. Nolan said it himself. He said that it is Strauss's perspective. Initially, they said that I know what they said before the movie, but now that it's been out, he said that this is Strauss's perspective because it can't be objective if like, let's say, for example, the one of him walking towards Einstein. And Einstein
That's to be
was
fair, because black and white showed him
Just
doing him not seeing them, seeing the conversation they had, and then at the end we see in colour.
It was Strauss's perspective, that whole black and white. So I think half the movie is dedicated to his perspective.
But would you say? I still don't see it as the main character though. I don't
No,
know.
because it goes
I mean, it's
into
higher than everyone else.
it starts off mainly right at the beginning with Oppenheimer's university experience.
Yeah.
I really like
it
those scenes,
follows his family, it follows the affair.
No,
it
I'm not saying
follows
Oppenheimer
everything.
is here, but like Strauss will be like here. You know what I'm saying? Strauss is here, and then everyone else is like down here.
I can see the argument there.
Yeah, the Strauss is like proper, like he.
They could
he's
battle
a-
it, yeah.
yeah.
Or they could be both the protagonists.
I'm not saying Strauss is higher. It would never be higher, and I don't think they're even equal. I think he's a little bit less, but he was a main character for me. He's Iron Man in Civil War.
But isn't that what you call a supporting actor then?
Yeah.
But you're
Someone that's just underneath the main actor.
you're just like you're touching.
That's
you're
the
scraping
point.
Yeah, that's what Ryan Gosling was
Yeah.
to Barbie.
And I think Oppenheimer, I think Strauss is a bit more prominent than. Yeah, but think about it, a movie with the half like.
You do know, like,
one
I
third.
Am Ken has like got ridiculous amount of streams.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's at the same level.